In this video, I'm going to give you a glimpse into the inspiration for Allon. So as you see, we are driving quite a distance. In fact, this was specifically made to wander through acres and acres of lush forest. The original estate had 100,000 acres. Now, today, it's around 8,000. But as you see, it's quite a distance. In fact, going from the gatehouse to the house itself is 3 miles. Imagine, as a guest of the Vanderbilts, driving in your carriage as you go through this winding, lush path. You'll go through blooming gardens, you'll see waterfalls, you'll see various fauna.
The Biltmore. I will be taking further pictures from farther away so that you can see the entirety. But as you look at the architecture that there is, in many ways, this is what inspired me with Waldron Castle. I didn't want to go Dark Ages with Allon. I wanted it grand. And this was one of the inspirations.
In this wide shot of the Biltmore, you can see the grandeur. This place has 250 rooms. And we'll be going inside to see some of the comparisons. But you'll see 35 bedrooms, 65 fireplace hearths, and 43 bathrooms. Now, as you see with the comparison to Waldron, I wanted that grandeur that was there. In fact, with the promenade going up to Waldron, that was also made to impress visitors and foreign dignitaries to the splendor that is Waldron Castle. Now, those particular oil lamps are reminiscent of actually what's around Buckingham Palace, so that they would light the way at night as you're driving up to this magnificent castle. Now we're going to go inside, and I'll show you some of the things that I mean when I describe the interior of Waldron Castle. As you see here off the main entrance, this was called the Winter Garden, but look at the ceilings. They're so different. One of the other places to impress is kind of like a great hall, but in this case, in Biltmore, it is this huge dining room. I mean, look at that hearth that is there. When I describe the great room of Waldron Castle, I talk about 2 huge hearths. Now also you'll notice there is an arched ceiling over the dining room of intricate woodwork. Well, I do the same thing in the Great Hall at Waldron Castle. Yet when it comes to the family portions of the Biltmore, as well as the family portions in Waldron, it's more intimate. Now we're going to take a look at some of the bedrooms at Biltmore. This is the master suite. Now if you notice, there's a bed, and behind it you'll be able to see a bathroom, or in Waldron's case, a privy. There's also a dressing area. And if you swing around on the other side of the master bedroom, you'll see a writing table, you'll see a sofa. So this would be the master suite, the suite for Mrs. Vanderbilt. If you notice, this is much lighter and brighter and a bit more feminine in the architecture, but you'll see very much the same with the bed, and behind those curtains is the privy and the dressing area. So I will talk about in the royal bedchambers of Waldron, I'll talk about privies. Now, they didn't necessarily have, hot and cold running water. I did describe a little stove that would heat the water for the tubs at Waldron. But again, I didn't want to make Allon in the Dark Ages, so it's kind of Elizabethan and a bit more improved in the privy area. One of this author's favorite rooms in the Biltmore is the library. Just look at this place. Mr. Vanderbilt was an avid reader, and he collected about 10,000 books. Again, take a look at the warm wood, the architecture, and the ceiling, and the hearth. All these fireplaces are different. Now we're going outside to a loggia. And this went from one part of Biltmore to another, just like you would have at Waldron Castle, going from one place to another. That you can go on the outside and you can enjoy the wonderful vista and the view. And as you see in this picture of Sir Niles from Overthrow, you can see the inspiration of Biltmore in the background with a little bit of the chateau and the archways in the courtyard. So this is just a little glimpse into the inspiration that an author can find in various places. I hope this gives you an idea of what I mean when describing the architecture and the interior features in Allon.